Shingleton's Quality Wood Products, located on Fort Hill Road in Augusta, produces the finest in wood products to meet all your construction needs. Whether you are a builder or doing those home improvement projects, visit Shingleton's for quality wood products today.
You know, there's a lot of nations out there getting real rich off the United States because we're sitting here using so much power. If every house would just put one solar panel up, you know, we could eliminate a great demand that we have on someone else's oil. You know, we're going to use it, but let's get smart about how we're using it and what we're using.
And you've seen a lot, Clyde. You're a retired colonel from the Army, is that correct?
Yes, Lieutenant Colonel. Judy and I lived in Manassas before we came here, and there you had one source of power, Northern Virginia Electric Co-ops. We try to conserve everything that we can and recycle what we can do. So when we came out here, found the property and decided we were going to build, we decided then that we were going to try to be as energy efficient as possible. Ideally, we were thinking we'd be off the grid completely, because we based our estimate of electrical needs on the old house we had in Manassas, which was much smaller than this one. We really get about 2/3 of our power from the wind and the solar panels. We'd like to get all of it.
Sure.
We've been talking to Charles about possibly upgrading the solar panels. That the cost of the solar panels has gone down appreciably. The efficiency has gone up on them, and they're more readily available. Plus, there's a rebate that you can get from the federal government, 30% rebate on the cost of installation and purchase of these things.
We were over there walking around the grounds. You've got the two wind turbines. They're, I believe you're saying 84 feet?
84, 85 feet, yes.
Above the ground. We've got the solar panel, which is over to the right, and they really do not detract from the property. In fact, when I pulled up, I really couldn't see them. I didn't know that they were here until you pointed them out.
We've had people say, you know, oh God, they're ugly. You know, I don't think they're ugly at all. You know, I think a cell tower is ugly.
Yeah, that sticks out a lot more than these do.
Yes, the cost is restrictive initially, but if you stop and think about it, you know, you only pay for this one time. You buy the windmills and get them put up, buy the solar panels, get them erected, and that's it. It initially cost us about $30,000 or $40,000 to get everything that we wanted. And Charles told us, says, you know, it's going to be 30 years before you recoup your cost here, or, you know, before you see, you know, a profit on it. Since they've revised the cost of fuel and everything is going up, that figure's been changed, and now it looks like in 6 years, or around 2010, we will break even. The nice thing about having what Charles and I refer to as a hybrid system, you know, with the solar and wind, if you don't have wind, you almost always have the sun.
The solar panels, you were saying, what were they, 4 foot by?
No, they're 3 feet by 5 feet, and there's actually 10 of those in the array, so the array itself is 15 feet by 10 feet.
Clyde, what is the difference between the two wind mills that you have and the solar? What's the breakdown as far as how much energy you're getting from them?
Each one of the windmills will generate 1 kilowatt of electricity an hour in optimum conditions. That's with about 10 miles an hour wind, you know, constant blowing for the entire 1 hour period. The solar array will give us 1.6 kilowatts of electricity in optimum sun. So we can get about 3.6 kilowatts of electricity an hour in optimum conditions. We've lost power up here from Allegheny Power a couple of times, and the only way we can really tell when the power goes out is if we're watching television. The television will go off, and then we have to manually turn it back on, and then everything works just fine.
Are the systems running all at the same time, I guess would be the best way to describe it, or is one a backup to the other?
No, they run simultaneously. The control panels for everything that's working will either draw power in from Allegheny or bring it in from the batteries or from the solar and wind directly as it's coming in.
And if you could take us on a little bit of a tour, when you go into your garage, the first on the left is for the wind.
Those are the two control panels for the wind. And actually all it is just, that's where the direct current power comes into those control panels. It senses that it's got power and then sends it over to the inverters, and the inverter sends it down to the batteries for storage.
And how many batteries, Clyde, did you say you have in there?
We have 6 24-volt batteries. So those 6 batteries will operate the house for a 24-hour period.
By and large, you think it's something you would recommend? You think it's a pretty good thing if somebody's at least looking into it?
I would strongly recommend it, and I wouldn't look at the initial cost being prohibitive, because it's not the initial cost; it's the cost. Period. That's it.
You pay it one time, and that's it.
One time. I'm not renting electricity from someone else.
You own your power source, really.
Yeah, you own your power source. The other thing that's really comforting is knowing that you're never without power. You're not at the mercy of Allegheny Power or any other power company that when your power goes out, you can't use your telephone, you don't have electricity, your food might spoil, you may have medicines that you have to keep in a refrigerator that you're not going to be able to get to. With a little bit of backup power with the batteries that we have, we're going to just keep going.